What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're gonna have a look at SEI, or SEI. I don't even know how to call this project. I've heard people call it all different things, but it doesn't really matter. This claims to be one of the fastest, if not the fastest, layer 1 available now in the market, which is a very bold claim if you ask me. Now, this is not the kind of project that I usually look into in my channel. As you probably guys know, I tend to look for the new cryptos that are very low in market cap, the kind of unspoken gems that can give you 100 to 100x returns even, and I try to find them before the masses discover them. This is already pretty much out there, and the market cap is quite high for my taste. But I'm gonna tell you some of the reasons why I kind of like this project, that I wouldn't necessarily exclude this, and I would perhaps include this if somebody was looking for a kind of like diversification in big caps that still haven't gone through a bull run before and are still down for potentially high returns. So without any further ado, the market cap is 539 million, which is pretty large. It was released to the market in August 2023, so what is it, like 4 months old? That is pretty crazy because it's still a very recent project. And the chart looks very healthy. Also, one of the things that we find out immediately is that this is listed in major exchanges. It's listed in Binance, it's listed on Coinbase and Kraken. That is a big deal. It's basically listed on the top 3 of exchanges already, which leads me to believe that for some project to be listed immediately right now, they need to have massive connection to the teams that handle the listings in those exchanges, and they need to pass rigorous quality assurance checks to be listed on it. So this already gives you some kind of safety on what this project can be. The narrative, you guys know it. It's another layer 1. Now, layer 1s is probably the best narrative in crypto, and it's always been like that. Bitcoin is a layer 1 proof of work. And, you know, the dominance of layer 1s is not going to go away anytime soon. However, there's going to be more revolutionary things that are going to push layer 1s into this upcoming bull run to make huge returns. Look at Caspa, for instance. That is a block DAG. That is not even a blockchain. However, I still don't know how to call it. It's a blockchain. It's not a block DAG. However, they're actually claiming to solving the trilemma, which I definitely found interesting. And I don't want to say that I believe them straight off the cuff, but it's definitely food for thought that it's another coin that says to solve the trilemma. I don't think that this aims to be a Caspa killer. This is in a narrative of its own. Caspa is fully decentralized, and it doesn't have any VC backing. This has a lot of VC backing, so I wouldn't dare to say that SEI solves the trilemma. I wouldn't say that. I don't think that it solves the decentralization issue, but it seems to definitely solve the security and scalability issue, at least in this very moment. So it definitely seems interesting. It claims to be the fastest chain to finality, point blank, with a lower bound of 300 milliseconds. That is pretty huge if it's actually legit. Twin turbo consensus. I'm not sure what that means. It sounds really promising. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen people label this as the Nasdaq killer. So being kind of like a decentralized exchange for all of these different kind of projects, whether it is DeFi or gaming, even NFTs. It aims to be this kind of like decentralized exchange, which is also layer 1 first and foremost. So let's not forget about that, to make seamless, fast, and with near zero gas fees transaction. I mean, on the card, it sounds amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely have a lot of concerns, which I'm gonna go down in a second. And the question will be, why do we need another layer 1? You know, there's so many layer 1s that are right now in the market. It's still a blockchain. It's not a block DAG. However, I do think that we still need something like this because, guys, whether you like it or not, VC-backed projects still have a lot of potential because institutions still love this. So for instance, we can make a point that Caspa is going to be the main narrative in terms of layer 1 in the bull run, and I still believe that this is not going to touch my Caspa position. However, Caspa is mostly going to be adopted for retail. It doesn't have VC backing. Projects like this, like it can be, say, in this case, it can be Injective. These projects, whether you like it or not, they have massive VC backing, so institutions are gonna favor this kind of project. So I do think that this still has potential. This can really, I would see this, a lot of people have compared this to Solana, and I see their point. I see that Solana, massive VC backing. It has a very diehard community. There's a lot of people that are actually Solana maxes. I do see, say, doing something similar in the upcoming bull run, and arguably, you can actually argue that it has a low market cap for what it is and what it aims to be, and for the fact that it was good enough to be listed off the cuff to Binance and Coinbase and Kraken. There's a lot of promising stuff, guys, and just the fact that it got listed here, it gives me a lot of potential vibes. I was making this point with Big Time before, and guess what? I made a 7 to 8x on Big Time, and so did my Patreons. So I'm always willing to adapt myself and see what the market conditions and trends are. I don't want to be the kind of guy that sees everything as black and white. There's always things that we need to consider. And also the fact that it hasn't gone through a bull run before, it makes me very promising about the potential that a project like this can have, because think if this was to do what Solana did in the previous bull run, like, the price would go crazy. Like, you can go here on market cap to compare the market caps, and so with the current market cap of Solana, this would be literally a 57x for now. And if it was to go to the all-time high, it would be a 145x. Now, is this going to happen? Potentially. I wouldn't consider this out of the equation, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was to do 100x, to be honest. Like, call me crazy. I don't think that's impossible. I think it's going to be a bit hard, but maybe a 50x would be more realistic, in my opinion, like a 30 to 50x territory, which still would be amazing for something that is this big of a market cap and it's already, adopted by institution and listed in these major exchanges. Would be something kind of like revolutionary, 100%. The main thing is that, yeah, it focuses on the concept of decentralization, but again, it's another kind of decentralization, because we can talk about the technology, but we can't really talk about the allocation, the insider, the VC, etc., etc. We can't really talk about that, but there's definitely a big emphasis on reliability and scalability. The team, of course, is doxed. It's not an anonymous team project, of course, because a project like this, if it was to have an anonymous team, wouldn't be listed in a centralized exchange like this in the first place. So that is good. The data here is pretty encouraging if we go to the website, which seems pretty legit to look at. 380 milliseconds, that's insane. 20,000 orders per second. 100 million plus testnet transaction, 4 million testnet users. That's definitely interesting, for sure. Trusted by these big investors and institutions. Now, again, you like it or not, institutions are gonna favor projects like this. I am bullish on stuff like this, 100%. Even though it's not the main thing that I invest on this channel, and I would definitely want to stress out this if you're new to my channel. This is not the kind of project that I regularly invest in, but I do understand the conditions of the market, and I don't think that we're going to move out of conditions in which VC backing and big corporations control the movement of prices of projects like this. I'm not going to deny that at all. Getting back to the Solana comparison, that this is kind of like 2x the transaction speed of Solana, which is kind of impressive because Solana is quite damn fast already. This is the two founders. One is a dude that used to work in Goldman Sachs and it was pretty high up in the hierarchy. And the other guy, I think, was one of the lead developers or Robinhood, which, of course, I don't have to introduce Robinhood. You already know what Robinhood is. So, guys, very interesting stuff. Like, these people know what they're doing, and that is definitely very encouraging. Also, I would definitely want to touch the tokenomics whenever I can find them, but I don't seem to find them here. Now, the white paper is extremely technical and is extremely boring, so I'm not going to bore you with the stuff that I don't entirely understand myself. But I want to definitely look at the tokenomics, because this is definitely something very important. So let's look here. Let's look here. Like, the tokenomics are not brilliant, right? We can check all of the allocations, and we can see a 20% to the team, a 20% in private sale, and a 9% to the foundation. And pretty much, so it's 49%, okay? 49% was allocated to the insiders, and only the remaining 51% was available to the public. However, guys, I want you to understand that this might not necessarily be as black or white as it might seem, because if we look at the token unlocks, the biggest chunk of the token unlocks will be around 2025, right here, which is pretty much 2 years from now. So given that a big chunk of the tokens are going to be unlocked around that time, it means that there's 2 years in which all of these investors, all the private sale and even the team, are not going to be able to dump on you. And this is why, despite the fact that this project appears to be heavily centralized, there is a big chance that there's not going to be massive swings in price until that day. Now, this doesn't mean that this project is not going to crash hard. In fact, the exact opposite. I do expect this project by the summer of 2025 to the fall of 2025, around the peak of the bull run, considering also when Bitcoin is going to top, this project is going to dump so fucking hard. And I think that this is another project that is going to dump to 99% from all-time high around that time. However, it means that you need to be more conscious of this. You need to be aware that those people are going to dump on you in a couple of years. You need to be aware that you enter now and you will have to sell at the top before or in the moment in which those people start dumping, because the price is gonna literally crash hard. But if you're like a serious investor, if you're trying to time the market and trying to be up to date with the news and the vesting schedule, I think that you can make massive returns and then dump right before the insiders dump on you. I think that this is actually a very solid strategy, but I wouldn't consider this project a set it and forget it type crypto like Kaspa can be, because it's fair launch. There's no pre-mining, no pre-allocation to the insider, no VC backing. That project, you can basically set it and forget it until the end of 2025. This project, you will probably have to be more careful about the movement of the VCs, because those ultimately are going to dictate the price, because just them are 50% of the entire price of this project, which is a big fucking deal if you haven't realized already. And another difference with Kaspa is that this is a proof of stake crypto. As you can see right here, the maximum supply is unlimited. This is because the coins can literally be printed out of thin air. Okay, you basically just stake them and there's going to be more and more coins generated. This is basically subject to inflation in itself. The total supply is 10 billion and the circulating supply is 2.3 billion. So 23% circulating supply. I don't know how inflationary this is going to be, but also you want to consider again that this is a proof of stake crypto and the maximum supply could literally be unlimited, which is kind of scary in the long term, but not if you plan to just like buy now and dump around when the VC unlocks are going to occur, because you know that the price is going to dump. I didn't want to go super high into the tech about this project. I don't think it's needed. There's definitely a lot of resources that you can find online, and as I said before, it aims to be the layer 1 for DeFi apps in particular. If I didn't mention before, this is the fastest blockchain layer 1 built on Cosmos SDK. There is definitely a big deal, and I think that the technology is great, but I think that I also made very, very clear all the concerns that I have with projects like this, but I wouldn't be opposed if somebody added this as part of the portfolio for a sort of like diversification. And guys, this could literally be like buying an early Ethereum or Solana. They haven't gone through a bull run before, so that's why I think it's got a lot of potential, but you will definitely have to time your entry and your exit out of a project like this. So there's more to this sauce. I think that you need to evaluate all of these things if you decide to make an investment in this project. And now, I hope that you found value out of this video. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're looking to join a no bullshit community of investors, a very thriving community with almost 200 people, and get all of my buy and sell alerts, get access to my private live streams, to my portfolio, and to send me your portfolio for review, a lot of exclusive content as well, and one of the best communities in crypto, I am currently creating it myself. So I hope to see you there. Get in now before the price gets expensive. This is still super fucking cheap. Oh my god, dude. And the operators are making massive returns. I have a proven track record of all of the projects that we bought over the past few weeks that gave us multiple X's already. So you will have to join and see for yourself what's in it for you. I'm sure that I'm going to be able to help you in your investment journey, and together we're going to make insane returns and create generational wealth in your coming bull. So I hope to see you there, and I hope to help you further in your journey. Until then, take care.